Hello guys, I'm Mr. Machete, your ECD facilitator. I want us to proceed where we have ended in our SOP2 or skill program number 2 book, where we have been focusing on activity number 1 up to 4. So today I want us to proceed from activity number 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to start with activity number 5 that says aspect of physical development. The aspect of physical development. In our first point, we have got what we call movement and space. We have movement and space. With this aspect, guys, it gives us an allowance that there at school or there at our workplace as ECD practitioners, we must make sure that we have what we call the playroom, where the kids will be having the space or their own space in terms of playing and using different resources to develop their skills in touching and play. So that's the physical part of development. Then we have got point number 2, of which it's health and bodily awareness. Health and bodily awareness. So with this one, we'll be teaching the kids or developing the kids on how they must take care of themselves. Like, for example, to show them the harmful object or the objects that they must not use when they are playing in their playroom. Like, for example, we also teach the kids on how to handle the scissor in a proper way, so that when they are with the other children in their playroom, maybe they will be doing their arts or training them or developing them in creativity. When they are busy cutting up the pages and pasting, this is where we will be checking on them if they are active in holding of a scissor, they are acting on how they can cut without cutting other children. So we have to teach the kids that these objects are good, these objects are not good. These objects, they can be harmful to them and their fellow students. Then let's go and check the last one, of which it says using equipment and material. So with this one, it's same as this one of the bodily awareness. So the difference is just that with this one, it's strictly on the equipment, on how they must use those equipment. So it's also the equipment, like the example I just gave now, that we must teach those kids on how to handle the scissor when they are busy in their classrooms doing their project or anything that is developing them in art, where it requires them to cut using the scissor or the sharp object. So we'll be teaching those kids on how to behave or how to treat themselves in amongst those students. So we are done with our activity number 5. This is our aspect of physical development. Now I want us to focus on activity number 6 that says observation and note taking. Observation and note taking. So with this one, let's check from there our first point. It says take about 10 minutes after children leave to record and discuss your observation. Take about 10 minutes after children leave to record and discuss your observation. Mind you, the observation is done by us as ECD practitioners. So as an ECD practitioner, what we'll be doing is to assess and observe the kids. So these two goes handy. You cannot assess the kids if you didn't observe them. And you cannot observe the kids and not assess them and expect the final result. So when you observe, you must make sure that you assess. And when you assess, you must make sure that you start by observing. So it says after observation, you must take about 10 minutes after the children are done or after they have left. Why must you take that 10 minutes? It's for you to check whatever that you are recording, that whatever that you are going to assess the kids on, then it's accurate, matches with what you have wrote and matches with what you have observed. So that's why it needs you to just take about 10 minutes for you to check everything before you start with your observation or assessment. Then let's check point number 2. It says, keep paper to record notes. So when you are observing the kids there at your workplace, make sure that you have got somewhere to write. Here they gave us an example that we can use the paper to take the notes or to record on. So make sure that each and every time when you're doing your assessment or your observation, you have got somewhere to write. This helps you because you are not going to be assessing one person. You'll be assessing a lot of students. So for you to take the note, it makes you to remember what you have seen, what you have observed, so that when you assess the children, you write the right things, or you write the same thing that you have observed, or the same thing that appears on your notes. So that's why it's most important to take notes when you are dealing with observation. Then let's go to point number 3. It says, be selective in what you write. So when you are observing, you don't just write everything, because if you can write everything, then it will take your time to observe or to assess other kids. So when you are observing, when you are writing, make sure that you become so selective in whatever that you write. Then the other one, it says, save children's artwork to evaluate areas. You must make sure that you save the children's artwork to evaluate the areas. So what kind of the areas that are evaluated in the artwork? Number 1 is creativity. Number 2, it's how well the project is, or how good is the child did the work. So that's why you have to save it, so that after the observation, you go through it again, you check that whatsoever that you have recorded, does it related to what you now see. So that's why it's also most advisable for you to save children's artwork, for you to evaluate the areas. Then let's check our last point that says, keep tape recorder in hand to record children playing in the classroom. So if it's something that needs to be recorded when you're observing, or it's something that needs to be recorded when you are assessing, make sure that you can also use the tape recorder. You can also go to the classroom with the tape recorder and you use it. This will help you that when the students leave, it leaves you with a work to sit down and listen to the recordings, and after that you assess the children according to how they have played. Then this was our activity number 6. So now I want us guys to focus on our last activity, of which is activity number 7. So in activity number 7, it says, show your understanding of ethics and confidentiality. Show your understanding of ethics and confidentiality. So it says that all information should be treated as confidential and not made public or available to anyone. It might be the class activity of the kids, it must be the project, it must be their results. Make sure that they are in a confidential way. Then number 2, it says, parents and teachers' consent is needed before information can be made public. So if you want to give any information of the student to anyone, it must be from you as a teacher or the parents. That's why it tells us about the parents and teachers' consent. Then we've got another one that says, be cautious about displaying and storing your records. Make sure that everywhere or anywhere you put your records, it's a place where it's safe, or the place where not everyone has access to, so that the information that you are saying is going to be confidential, then it will be safe. So this is our activity number 7 that tells us about how to show and understand the ethics of confidentiality. So I would like to thank you guys for your time. So make sure that you refer all these activities with your textbooks. And hopefully I'm saying let's meet in our another video where we'll be proceeding with activity number 8, 9, and 10. Thank you very much and have a nice day, guys.